way through the end of March.
Mhm.
So who else better to be on here but Ginger Perrick, Healing Heart Medium. And I don't know, Ginger, do you need an introduction? Should we introduce you?
Oh, sure. I'll take an introduction.
All
Why
right.
not?
So
Yeah.
Ginger Perrick is a not only a registered nurse, but she's a aromatherapist. She does certified toe readings. Yes, actually look at your toes. Your toes tell you a lot about you.
Mhm.
She's also a very, very, very good photographer. Some
Oh,
beautiful pieces that you have done. And actually, she would have most of them. That's yours.
yeah. That horse picture's mine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and there's some beautiful pictures, and it's just they're phenomenal. Anyway, she's a dog mom. She's a wife. She is also a psychic medium. She has studied with some very well-known, international well-known psychic mediums. She has also been in how many books now? Four or five?
I'm in my fourth, I think, now. Just getting ready to be in my fourth book. I
Yes.
think
So
I've done three. Yeah. Yeah.
best-selling author and friend. So here you are. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Of
you so
course,
much for
of
having me.
course. And
Yes.
Jane says hello, and Chris, hello. Mary Jane, happy October. Patricia, hello, hello, hello. Jean, hello. Julie, hello. Let's pop on
Julie Jeff.
to Instagram, and we got a lot of people on Instagram. Connie Love, Sharon Eve, you are loved forever. Kim Spencer, creative,
Oh,
creative Bennett, hello, hello. Maria, hello. Lou Sunshine, hello, and hi everybody. So I'm going to be flipping back and forth. Normally, I don't know what the deal is. Normally, I could go on here and see myself on Instagram, but I don't know what it is. I can't I can't follow. Oh wait, I just did. I don't know what I just did.
oh my
Oh,
God.
that's exciting. I did it. Yay. I pressed
I
it.
tried, I
I have
can't
no
get my
idea.
Instagram to connect. It wouldn't only let me do two on my
Oh,
fingers.
see,
Yeah.
this is exciting. So I don't know what I did, but it's exciting. So now I've got it. And hello, Christy. Hello, Kim. Delora.
Hi,
Hello.
Deborah.
We miss you. We miss you, Delora. Uh,
Yes, we do.
you more than words can say. And I've been super busy, but you are always in my thoughts and prayers. So today we've got something really special. This month is all about transformation. And
Mhm.
we're going to talk about transformation of fear into empowerment. And I forgot to mention this in your intro, but you are also a breast cancer survivor and a
I
warrior.
am.
And
Yes.
that is something that, we've been through that together day
Mhm.
one. And you talked about it in a story,
Mhm.
and you talked about it in the book.
I did. I did.
A
Yes.
book that's coming up,
Yes.
and
Yes.
going within to heal. We'll
Mhm.
all about that. And my goal, guys, is to have most all of the authors, if they say yes, to have them come on and we could talk a little bit. So that's my goal. It's my goal. So tell everybody a little bit about how the fear started and how did you shift it?
Well, I kind of did a little bit. I wrote a paper. Can you believe that? For once, I actually got semi organized. You know, I grew up with fear in my daily. I grew up with fear daily, and as like a companion to me with daily fear, and that, basically because I was in my home as a child. I grew up with an abusive alcoholic father, so I was born into fear of one way or another. The fear of the unknown, the fear of what's going to happen, the fear of a lot of different things. In my childhood, fear was every breath. If it wasn't I guess I'd say, but the thing that fear didn't break me, it taught me Even
Mm.
though, I had all that fear and it didn't really break me, it taught me. And it taught me how to deal with things. It gave me the strength to move forward. So I've had a lot of fear my entire life, my entire childhood. And somehow I knew I would be okay. I don't know how to explain that when you grow up in a household that's violent and you never know from one minute to next where the mood is coming from. Probably why I was born with abilities, but I think being in that atmosphere made my abilities twice as strong because I had to feel everything out. I had to know where everything was coming from. I learned at a very young age that fear actually shaped me into a stronger person. Having fear, you can transform your fear into a positive. And had that fear not been there, would I have just been like a normal person without any? I don't know, but I started at a very young age with having fear in my life.
Would you say the fear, like you said, molded you? But when was that? When did you take something that could be so negative into something that was positive? And before you answer, I just want to say hello, Chris from Iowa, Nancy, Michelle, and Susan. Thank you all for being here. And again, Instagram, thank you for being here as well. How did you shift it? Like, was there something that you just said no to? Like there was, you know what I mean? Where it
I
just
said no to everything. I said no to everything. I really, I mean, I took it as a challenge. Oh, okay. That fear is saying you can't do this and you can't do that. And it's going to, because of this household, you'll never be this, you'll never be that. To me, it was a challenge. Like, oh yeah, watch me. I mean, that's one thing that I, say, Ginger, you can't do that. Um, Yes, I can, because I pushed forward through that. I took it as a challenge, saying that fear of well, like riding a motorcycle. When I started riding one at the age of 55, everybody said, "Well, you can't ride a motorcycle. You're 55 years old. You're a woman. You shouldn't be riding a 1,000-pound bike." Oh yeah, scared, yes. Scared to ride that bike, yes. Scared the fear of getting hit, because the father I grew up with in the household actually ended up dying on his motorcycle. So that fear was back there. This, you could die
sure.
doing this, but watch me. Watch me. It didn't slow me down. I pushed through it just to prove
And
I could do it.
I
Yeah.
think you did the same thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I
That's
think you did the same thing when like your nurse mode just went in when you found the lump.
oh, yeah. Yeah. It's for the breast cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would scare the crap out of anybody. I mean, yes, I went right into nurse mode. I thought, oh crap, I knew what it was the minute my hand touched it. And I went right into how am I going, instead of saying, oh my God, and curling up into a little ball and being scared to death. Yeah, my human was scared to death, but on a spiritual level, and my nursing is so spiritual in many ways. I said, okay, now what? Now I have this thrown at me. How am I going to figure out what it is? How am I going to get rid of it? And how am I going to continue to march forward and not let this take me down? Because that fear could have fed so many things in our body, in our mind, in our spirit, in our body, because it manifests. Was I afraid? Yes. Elias, I called you in tears multiple times. All the fear and that human and that little girl inside of me scared to death that something horrible is going to go wrong. But I had to push through that fear. I had to say, okay, grab the bull by the horns and go, and go through it. So
And
yeah.
you had different game plans. I
Mhm.
remember when we talked, you're like, okay, if this happens, then I'm gonna do this. If this happens, then I'm gonna do this. If this happens, I'm gonna do that. And guys, this is not only about cancer. This is
Oh,
about
life.
anything in right,
Life.
exactly, in
Yeah.
life. I
Life.
mean,
Yeah.
I know that when I wanted to get a divorce, I was scared crapless about now what? Where am I going to go with two dogs? Two, 45 and 80-pound dog. Where am I going to go?
Mhm.
What am I going to do? What's going to happen? But I think something like you said, it kicks in. Something kicks in that is within us. And I think when we look at the fear and we look going back, looking into the love of self and what we can do, that's the part that shifts. That's the part that we can.
Yeah.
And I think what happens with you is your piece, and we talked about this before on here with
Mhm.
Lisa Nolan Chalowski, who also is a psychic medium and breast cancer survivor. We talked about how this piece is educating others. And I think that's really important.
And I wonder, Elias, with your background, we are alert beings from the minute we're conceived in the womb to the minute that we come out. You were in adoption homes. You got transferred around like 5 or 6 times.
5 times. Yeah.
5 times. Now, even though you're just a wee little baby, our soul knows what's going on. And if you think about it, that sets you up right then and there of survival. And how am I going to get through this? I mean, our soul, we choose how we come in. We choose our parents. We choose our life path. So coming in for you, you came in rough. If you think about it, you came in and you talked about you coming in rough and you not having that going on. And that transformation fear as a baby, children, I have seen it because I'm a pediatric nurse. I can hold brand new babies and see that fear or that not knowing in their eyes.
And that's
Yeah.
that being in 5 foster homes, for those of you who don't know, 5 foster homes before I was 18 months old. And before that, everyone, and I do talk about it, please hold. I do talk about it in
Illuminate.
Illuminate, and the chapter is called, um, if I can find it right here, it is, I I get into it. I'm just going to tell you, I get into it, and this is why did you leave me, and that's interesting. And here's some of the authors. There's Chris,
Yeah.
um, and it's important to know that for my journey and for many of you, a lot happens in utero.
Mhm.
A lot happens in utero, and my birth mother wanted to end our lives when she was 6 months pregnant. She was going to end her life, obviously, with me in utero and my 1.5-year-old half brother. So we were all going to, be in the Grecian Ocean. And I'm so glad we're not. But that to have that
Mhm.
wrapped up in there, it's crazy. Dolores says, hi, Selena. Hi, Ren. Dolores says, I fear the process more than the outcome. And
That-
that is very true. Very,
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah. Yeah. But that when I look at you and what I know about you, that sets you up for for a survival. And I think if we are in survival mode, what is it? Going blank, fear, fight or flight. When
Fight or
we're in survivor mode of fight or flight, you have a choice with that. Are you going to fight or are you going to flee? There are times you do need to flee. There are times you do need to turn around and walk away and not fight. But I think that fight, it doesn't have to be physical. Sometimes it's just that inner fight within yourself that pushes you forward. I'm a control freak. I don't like to give up. Even today, I think I posted on my page. I went bowling. Brad wanted to go practice some bowling. Now I've had hip issues because of my medications. And I told him I felt like somebody was trying to remove my drumstick. I mean, because my hip is so painful that the first couple times I walked up to throw the ball, and if anybody bowls, you go 1, 2, 3, and you slide on your left leg. And I slid on my left leg and my hip went, oh no, you don't. Mwah. And then that was it. I couldn't finish bowling the rest of the time. Went to tears and I thought, Spirit, please guide me. Please give me a sign that I'm going to be okay. 2 songs came on right exactly after that. This girl's on fire. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I
Hmm.
thought, well, what a beautiful God sending me that song to let me know that I'm going to be okay. So, yeah.
Butterfly Jen says, damn, tamoxifen.
Yeah, the tamoxifen, mine's an aromacin, but yes, it does cause damage to the tendon and the ligaments and the bones, and yeah, but I'm not going to give up. It made me mad. Yeah, fight to make a big decision. Even the guy at the bowling alley, I wanted to get a new ball, a fancier ball, one of what they call a big hitter, and he looked at me and said, "Well, you know, the way that you bowl, you should just kind of keep with this little low buck ball." And I thought, you know what? No,
No, right.
I'm gonna get it and figure it out. Yeah.
Right. So we're talking, everyone, if you just joined us, thanks for joining. We're talking about how do we transform fear into empowerment. And I think so many of us go through loss. We go through different kinds of loss,
Mm-hmm.
loss of ability of being able to do something, a loss of a loved one, loss of control. We go through so many things, and I think it teaches us like what we really are made of. And I think that's an empowering piece. It sucks to go through it. It sucks to go through it. Butterfly Jen says, go big or go home, Ginger. Yes.
Yeah.
And that is important to know that
Mhm.
how many of you, put it in the comments, how many of you have been fearful and you got to the other side? Lou Sunshine says, fear, forget everything and rise. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I always say false evidence appearing real, but I really like that. Forget everything and rise. That's good.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like
Yeah.
Chris says loss of the life, the future that you planned.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Susan's been through it. Yep, just today. Oh my goodness, Sharon. Prayers for you. Joy says many times, right? Mary Jane, me too. And I think, hey, Patty Wiles, I think this is what happens. I think what happens is that we all come together. We all come together. We find our tribe
Mm-hmm.
and we come together to help rise us up. Butterfly Jen says, my mother just disowned me again this week and I tour. Fear she will pass in anger, and yet it's a relief too.
Mm.
That's sad. That's
Look
sad.
at this. How do you know when fear is actually protecting you and holding you back? Actually, if you have this fear, sometimes fear can be protection. It's your
So tell
instincts.
people how. Tell people how.
So when you have those gut feelings and that gut feeling, I call it a gut feeling, I call it intuition. A lot of people that are not as aware of their intuition, aware of their abilities, will actually call it fear versus intuition. Our intuition says, I'm going to go down this street, and then you go, maybe not, I'm going to turn down this street. When in your fear, you may say, oh, I don't like that street, that scares me, I don't want to go that way. And you go the other way so sometimes we label fear as actually our intuition. Does that make sense? So our fear can actually be intuition that's protecting us. We are afraid of something. Why are we afraid? We may not understand why we're afraid of it, but follow that fear for that moment because maybe it's actually protecting you in the long run.
Because the fear, everyone, is part of it is the fear of the unknown. And that's the part that we want to control. It's like, well, how's it going to go? And Lou Sunshine said, is this why my stomach has been in knots? Yeah, very much true. Nancy says, my faith pulls me through most fearful times. Can't explain how. I know deep down it may not be pleasant, but I will be okay. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Laura says, when the fear is so loud that I cannot hear my thoughts, that is my breaking point.
Yeah. Right.
My mom said to me, she said it several times, but I remember distinctively, she said a couple months before she passed, she like held my hand and she said, I want you to remember something. And I said, sure. And she said, I never want you to be afraid. Never be afraid. Oh, I was almost going to lose it for a second.
No, go ahead. I love that about you. Go
Never be I don't know, it just hit just like that.
Mhm,
Um, she said, "Never be afraid. God's always on your side."
mhm.
And she always would tell me about how her dad came from Greece with like 25 cents in his pocket, and all the spiritual stuff that she would talk about, dreams and stuff. And that's something that I'd always remember. I mean, I know that I was at wit's end when my mom passed, and I had to go to the wake the same day that my dad was being rushed to ICU. Had no idea how I was going to get through that funeral. And it was that shows me, I think the fear shows me about the strength that we have.
Yeah,
Somewhere we pull it in, and I don't know, we don't know where it comes from, but I think that part is our angels or our guides just being there surrounding us and kind of moving us along, don't you think?
I think so. I think I always knew growing up in that household that I was going to be okay.
Mm,
I don't know how I knew. I just knew that I would be okay. He never laid a hand on me. I don't know how I escaped that, whether I just stayed out of the way, was in the, made sure I was in the right place at the right time. I mean, he got some physical abuse with my brother and my sister, and my mother, but he never did that to me. And I don't know why, other than maybe I saw it and felt it coming and I didn't push the buttons and I got out of the way.
mm.
I don't know. Maybe that fear of having that happen to me kept me safe. Again, fear protecting us in some way. Yeah. So, wow, there's
Um,
some nice comments here. You guys, thanks for sharing.
so Chris says, "I've learned to not doubt myself when that feeling hits my guts. I've
Mhm.
avoided accidents because I followed my gut." Very true. Susan has something very interesting. "When I was younger, nothing bothered me, but as I got older, I'm more fearful. Why?"
That's because we know more. We hear more, we see more, we're told more. And when we're younger, we're fearless. Kids are fearless. I mean, think about it. You ride your bicycle around all over the place and go ripping around and jumping and doing. You're fearless until you get hurt. So as we get older, we're fearless until we're hurt or we experience something.
Right.
And then
Right.
we develop that fear. Yeah,
Ren says he saw that you weren't going to let him be your victim.
I was not. No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Says she's a tourist, everybody. She's a
Mhm. Yes,
tourist.
yes, yes. Even
Nancy says my dad had a heart attack at my mother's funeral. Wow.
oh, oh, that's dying of a broken heart almost, isn't it, Nancy?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Nancy. Good to see you, Nancy. Good picture.
Mary Jane says, "I understand you, Ginger. My childhood was very difficult, but I turned out okay too."
Yeah.
So
So
true.
just knowing you were going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That-
And Maria says, "Gut feel, you just know." Yeah, totally.
Mhm. Mhm.
Totally. So true.
Not everybody gets that though when they're growing up in those atmospheres. Not everybody gets that. That's you know,
So if we look at our fear and we see it as an opportunity to acknowledge it and
mhm,
say, "Yes, you're there. What are you trying to show me?"
mhm.
And then from that piece, then we learn what that lesson is, and then we feel the empowerment. Would you say that that's how that
Yeah,
goes?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. So, I mean, if I were to ask anybody here, what tools do they practice to help them get through their fear? If
Mm,
anybody wants to share when you do have fear, what do you do? What kind of tools do you practice to get you out of that
great
mindset?
question. That's a
Yeah,
great question.
yeah.
And it's Butterfly Jen's birthday tomorrow, so happy early birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Um, so repeat the question one more time, so everybody.
So, what tools do you practice? And that could be any kind of tool. Tools do you practice to move you through your fear? You pray.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's really good. Breathing. Hi, Melissa. Breathing, journal. Sharon, I focus on what I know
That's a
to
good
be
one.
true.
That's a good
That's
one. Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Breathing and grounding. That's really good. That's very good. What about you guys on Instagram? Really important. Really important. Prayers. Yeah. Dolores says, remember to exhale and ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a woman today on TikTok. Her name is Nicole. She's a creator and gives branding tips. And she's going to be on Facebook one of these days with me. She's lovely, lovely, lovely woman. She actually had a stroke while last year while she was on TikTok live.
Oh my gosh.
Saw that her face did this, and people are like saying, go to the emergency room, go this. And she had to learn to walk again. She had to learn how to talk. She still has, a year later, she still sometimes has stuttering. And
Wow.
it's amazing.
Wow.
She's around our age. She's in her mid 50s. But phenomenal woman, works in Washington, D.C., and does all this wonderful free content on TikTok, but the strength of that lady is amazing. Connie says, hi, Connie. Connie says, oracle cards and meditation.
That's good. That's good.
And just because Connie's on here, here's another great thing. You can get Connie's book on Amazon, guys.
Oh,
Weekly
nice.
Wisdom Reflections. It's really good. There's Connie.
Hi,
And it's it's really a great book. There's a reflection prompt, and then an action step. So get the book. It's really good. Weekly Wisdom Reflections. So fascinating.
nice. That's nice. Talking about fear being freedom.
Yes.
When how to turn fear actually into freedom. So
Mhm.
you're not living in fear, because when you're living in fear, you're not really free to be your authentic self. So if you think about living with fear and freedom, it says when was the moment your path changed you? Like also fear of coming out of the closet, so to speak, as far as my psychic mediumship and
Yep.
other things that people go through, fear of becoming their authentic self. That's huge as an adult, not so much as a kid. Well, I shouldn't say that. Life things are different now than they were when I was a child. You didn't have the social pressures and the TikToks and all the Facebook and things. But I think about having that freedom to live yourself authentically, that letting go of those fears and allowing yourself to live authentically, where you would say when we live authentically, fear becomes the ashes from which we rise.
I love that. And what do you think everyone traps us in that fear? What do you think? Because I used to, back in the day when I did tarot cards, and I still have them, but I mostly now always use oracle cards. But
Yeah.
I had this one deck. It's called the Healing Earth deck, and I loved it because it was more indigenous. It's beautiful. They've got two more suits in it, if you
Mm-hmm.
will.
Mm-hmm.
And look at this card, everyone. It's called the Eight of Crystals. Look at this card. So the woman is trapped. Her fear, her mind, traps her in the cage.
But the door is open.
But the door is open. But she is in
such a state of fear.
right.
Yeah.
And she's almost like she's frozen. If she just turned around, she would notice that the door is open, like you said, Ginger. And fear is what stops her.
Right.
Fear is what stops her. Susan says that she's not good enough. The unknown stops us at times. Yeah, it can. Donson, hello. Crazy relatable. Yes, very crazy and very relatable. People don't realize, and I've drawn this card when I used to do tarot cards for people. The ones that got this card never saw that the door was open. I would like have them look at it, and they would say to me, she's stuck. Even though it's right here, they didn't see the door open.
Which says they're stuck.
Right.
They're not looking for the open door. They're not looking for the out. Again, the fear softens when we're surrounded with love and connection and ritual. We can soften the fear around us. You making the comment you're not good enough. Who told you you weren't good enough? And why would you own that?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
somebody somewhere said that, and we believed that tape.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and it's something that I'll have to tell you guys. Besides abandonment issues,
Hmm.
I always, even though my parents loved me, I always thought because I was adopted, because the whole psychic medium thing, because of being gay, I never thought I was good enough. I never thought I was good enough. I wasn't a doctor going to, pre-med. I wasn't a lawyer like my cousin. I wasn't doing this like my cousin. I wasn't doing this like my parents' godson. I
Hmm.
wasn't the president of the senior class at Notre Dame. All these different things just didn't make me feel good enough. So that's when the people pleaser kicks in,
Yeah.
and we then go into that pattern.
Yeah.
So, and we want to break those patterns.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. There is room for the new. Well, it's my 56th. I'm sorry, 57th weekend retreat in Chicago. The Mind Traps, breaking the patterns of perfectionism, people pleasing, control, and fixer. And we're going to do ancestral patterns. So if you're interested, go to the website. Susan said her dad, who told me I would never amount to anything.
So did mine. My nickname, I was a what here's what I got called. You're a peon. That was a word from the during the depression, peon meaning you're not worth enough to piss on. So
Right.
you were a peon. I mean, I heard that as a child, a 10-year-old child. You're just a peon. You're not worth peeing on. I mean, but I would think, and I don't know, I initially it would hurt. And then I think, you don't really know me. I mean, yeah, her dad too. Marianne said her dad too. It's funny how as women, we're supposed to be able to look up to our dad because we're supposed to, that's the man that's supposed to set the example for women of who we're going to marry and what we want for a dad. And I'll be damned if I didn't pull around and marry someone just like him. How, because I didn't know any
Right,
different.
because you didn't know any different,
I
right?
didn't know any different. Yeah. And I was afraid to, and I didn't think I was good enough for someone like my husband that I have now, you
Right.
know? So yeah. Yeah.
And Jen says, her mother, she said, if your mother doesn't love you, who will? It's how she
Mhm.
feels. Well, here's the thing, everybody. The thing is that these people, even though they were our parents, whomever they are that can relate to this, they don't have the tools that they needed.
No.
And we can come from a place of, okay, not the best, but they didn't have the tools to give us. They operated from their small, minute toolbox. And
Right.
because of that, your toolbox, everybody, has gotten bigger. That's the empowerment. That's the empowerment.
Yeah.
And that's the part that we need to remember. Because if you forget that, then you're stuck.
Yeah.
Then you're
And
stuck.
and you know how I handle fear? I do. I have moments of complete freak out. I mean, I really do because I'm human. I'm going to have moments of, and I did a lot of crying over the last year and a half. The fear, I still have a little seed back here in the back of my head because I have my lab work for my oncologist on Monday, and I am trying to just woo-saw and not let that those thoughts come forward that what if there's something wrong? What if they find something? I talked with Elias about my hip pain. What if there's something wrong? What if it's metastasis? What if there's, and I go through that nurse brain and I have to go, whoa, stop. I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
I can't put that, I have lab work done. They're going to draw my tumor markers. It's been a
And,
year and a half.
and it's been a year.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We somehow have the tools to handle what we
Mhm.
have. There isn't anything we can't handle. Selena says it was her mother. She used to say to her, "What's wrong with you? Yeah, for a freaking MR. What are you, mentally retarded? Why can't you be more like your sister?" Right? And those tapes repeat.
Well, I bet your sister's not doing so good now, is she? Just like, I'm sorry. You're probably turned out pretty good if you think about it. I got that from Why Can't You Be More Like Your Sister? Yeah, I'll bet you. Thank goodness, maybe you don't want to be like your sister. Maybe you want to really truly be your authentic self. That's to look at it that way.
And
You.
Maria also a survivor, and she says we all have those moments, Ginger, right there with you. And
Mhm.
Laura as well. Rechecks reopen those emotional scars. Yeah.
And I
Uh,
have spiritual super glue. I just put it right in that scar and just. She's married to a pilot. Well, then that means she's kind of lonely because he's never home. So.
there you go. There you go. I've never been married. I wouldn't want her life to save my life. There you go.
Yeah.
Ren says this has been an eye-opening experience tonight. Thank you, Ren. And you know what? All of you, we always try. And I'm going to share something which I haven't shared in a very long time, but I always feel so super comfortable with Ginger to be able to share this. Back in the day, if we go back to when I really started doing all these lives, thanks to Celebrate Your Life to get out there, and they pushed me to do the lives, especially when COVID happened and everything, and I was doing all these lives, and we were doing a lot of psychic stuff. We were doing a lot of psychic. Like I would do readings all the time. I was so fearful of getting into these kind of discussions because, oh my gosh, we're not talking about the woo woo stuff. We're not talking about this. How is this going to happen? And then I realized that this is all encompassing. We do talk about how our inner voice, hence the podcast, um, how that affects us. And I think it's really important that we talk about the topics that are in our brains that don't come out, that we're afraid to talk about. And that is empowerment too. Butterfly Jen says that seed that's in your head 11 years later, I think that too after breast cancer. Yeah. So many of you. So many of you.
I
Mary
think maybe the seeds for one of the markers in my boob must have moved up to my brain. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Susan says, I
No,
never
the breast cancer people will laugh at that. One of those little markers must have moved to my brain.
Susan says, I never heard I love you in my life or
Mm.
good job. Well, Susan, we love you.
We
Love
love you. Yeah.
and love your honesty and authenticity. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Joy says, ladies, thank you for letting me know that my mother wasn't the only cruel person.
They don't know. You have to kind of look at it. Sometimes our mothers are reflections of what they grew up with and they don't know any different. And the fact that you changed it, or as Elias says, you flipped the script, you changed the pattern. And hopefully you've moved it forward in a different direction.
And Susan Butterfly Jen says, love you. See, there you go. Andrea, hi, Andrea. Good to see you. Loving yourself has to be your superpower. 150%. Because if you don't love yourself, who's going to? Who's going to?
Yeah.
Right?
So you know what? It's to throw something way off because I'm really good about changing this.
Yes, go ahead.
Brain just goes in a different direction. I was thinking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month because it is October for breast cancer awareness, and it's more about just pink ribbons. It's like cancer awareness, illness awareness, anything with that we have to go through as human beings. It's about the courage and the vulnerability that you go through when you have an illness or something wrong, and your transformation. So you would have to say, what did fear teach you about the power of your own body and spirit when you have to go through such fear and vulnerability, and how you transform that? I'm not the same person. I mean, I kind of am, but Elias knows I'm really not. In so many ways, I have learned. It's taught me so much about myself and self-care and putting up boundaries. I had horrible boundaries. I would let people walk all over me. I would do stuff for people that would never, ever return the favor. Not that I wanted that back. But anytime we have these fears, we don't have boundaries. And that's another thing I'm sure Elias will talk about, was just with this month of breast cancer, it's more than just about the pink ribbon. It's about transforming and moving through those fears.
It's the shifting. It
Yeah.
really is the shifting. And when we allow ourselves to shift, we give ourselves permission to grow. When we stay in our comfort zone, we do not grow. Change, everyone,
Mhm.
can be uncomfortable. But if we're always comfortable, nothing happens. And that's the
Yeah.
part that people have to realize.
Yeah.
That's the part that it is challenging. It is hard. It can suck sometimes. Let's just be honest.
And getting my mammogram is just, I was 2 years out from getting it. It wasn't that I wasn't doing it. It just life got busy and I didn't get it done. I normally used to gift myself my well woman exam on my birthday every year. That was my present to myself. Go get your well woman exam. But I had a psychic medium tell me probably 15 years ago, at the age of 64, if I don't pay attention to my body, I won't live to be the age of 65.
Wow.
I got diagnosed with breast cancer right before my 64th birthday. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, I mean, because I paid attention to my body. So, and that was, when they told me that, I'm like, yeah, whatever, I,
Right. And it's so different. And
I poo-pooed them. Yeah.
so many different things have shifted with you. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
it's so important to know that, your prognosis and your treatment shifted things with your health, and now you're more aware of, even more so than what you were before, even as a nurse. Is that
Hmm.
correct?
Oh, nurses are the worst patients. We don't take care of ourselves. We put everybody else first. Guess what? I learned my boundaries.
Right.
I learned, it taught me, wait a minute, honey, you're not taking care of you. You're giving way too much away. I still take care of people. I still do that, but I have set some really nice, comfortable boundaries. Yeah.
Selena says, I believe my initial encounter with Elias was never by chance. Y'all always give the oomph and the courage to continue growing into me. Love it. Susan says, I learned from my parents how to be a better parent to my son. I say I love you every time I speak to him. I love that. Chris says, I'm having a complete hysterectomy on Wednesday. My fear shifts from one thing to another. Yeah.
Understood. Yeah.
And prayers to you, honey.
Yes.
Prayers to
Yes. Yes.
you. Same here. Hi, Karen. As Ginger was talking, I envisioned my Girl Scout sash and earning merit badges, as if the challenges we overcome produce a victory that we pin to our emotional sash with honor. That's good,
That's
Laura.
a good one,
Ah,
Delora.
good for you. Susan says, prayers for you, Chris. Hi, Michelle. Think of a plant that's growing. It will need to be repotted in a bigger pot. Yes, so
Mhm.
true. Um,
Llamas.
all week I've been talking to you, Elias. Thank you, Butterfly. Jen, thank you. David Merrick, real estate. If you need real estate in Vancouver or the Camas area, David Merrick is the person to go to. You're welcome. And Mary Jane says, Chris Kennedy, right? All the best and a successful recovery. Yes, we will all be praying for you, Chris, on Wednesday. I'll
Mhm.
be praying for you on Wednesday. So, couple things, everybody. Ginger, you got anything coming up?
Do I? No, not really. I don't
Don't
think
you
I.
want to announce something that you're going to be doing for your 65th birthday?
Oh, yes, I am going to be going to Ireland for my 65th birthday, which falls on Beltane in a and my birthday this year is a full Scorpio moon. I was born under a full Scorpio moon and I'll be in Ireland celebrating Beltane. So I'm
And
pretty.
not only celebrating everybody, she's so timid in this stuff. She needs to toot her horn. She's also going to be teaching in Ireland, which is really cool.
Yeah, good teaching Celtic aromatherapy from medieval and the Renaissance times and how they used aromatherapy in different ways. Yeah.
That's very cool. Very,
Mhm.
very cool. Look at, and Delora gave you some green hearts. Whoop,
Mm.
whoop. So, couple things that I want to share with you guys. If you haven't heard of yet or seen yet, because I've been talking about it, I'm going to pull this up on the screen. So give me a moment, because it all takes me a moment. So we've got the Within series. Book one is launching this fall. It's the Going Within to Heal. That one's coming up in a couple weeks, guys. I'll let you exactly know when. But I am looking for writers, authors that have a story that want to talk about their transformation, the journey from breakdown to breakthrough. And I know many of you on here. If you're interested, please email me, and we have that here.
Mhm.
So that's going to be really exciting. Also, the other thing that's coming up, let me share this with you all, if I can find it here, which I think I can. Let me, oh gosh, how do I do this? Here and there. Did I do it? Okay. Oh, yeah, I got to remove that one and go to here. Now, this class is starting October 18th. Are you wanting to see the signs through your psychic senses? Well, we're going to talk about developing your clairs and how the universe is already speaking to you, but we're missing the signs. So it's 90 minutes. It's recorded. It's 4 Saturdays, October 18, 25. We're going to skip the week that we're on retreat, and then November 8th and November 15th. And that's 90 minutes each class. And it's $66, guys, for the full 4-week series. So if you're interested, go to the website or take a look at it. It's really going to be a great class. And I have to tell you, some of you are in the intuitive coaching program. I got so many emails that are like, oh, I wanted to be in that class. I wanted to be in that class. Well, next year we're going to, it was a huge discount. And because it was a rollout program, I am willing to do another rollout price. We're going to do it soon, but I need 10 people to make sure that 8 to 10 people to be in the class. So if you're interested in that or wanting information, if you've been doing card readings for years and you know that there's more to that, or if you've been a life coach and you're like, there's more than that, we combine intuition with life coaching and give you my program. I call it the alignment program. The Align program is a little acronym for that. And I could look at this 60. I'm like, click. What's the word? There it is. Acronym for that. And just let us know. Now, next week we have Lisa Wilson, who has a new company called Juniper and Plume. That's Juniper and Plume, Plume. Hey, Christy, good to see you, my friend. Juniper and Plume. And she will be on calling, and it is all about transforming your work, transforming your job, David Merrick, real estate person. You can transform all those houses into $1 million homes. You can transform. So that's what we're going to talk about. So make sure that you check on that.
Miss Chris, I was like, Chris, good luck on your mammogram, Chris.
Yeah. Yes. Chris says she has her mammo on Monday. Yes. Hello, Christy. And everyone on Instagram, thanks so much for being on here.
Yes,
We really appreciate it. Ginger, thank you. Ginger and I will be doing a class sometime soon. And I hope so too. And guys, we have a couple spots left for the retreat. So if you're interested, let me know. I will give you all the early bird price, so you'll save some money if you want to go on the retreat in Chicago. And Sunday, when the retreat's over, we're going to go to Primal Ocean Salt Cave. So we're going to do a salt cave experience. So I'm really excited about that. So, guys,
if I may, Elias, can I just say like a blessing for everyone that's for today? So I bless you tonight with peace in your heart and courage in your spirit. May every fear that rises become an invitation into your true power, and you are guided, you are protected, and you are free.
I love it. It would have been really good if you said it with an Irish brogue. That would have been cool.
I could try it. I bless you tonight with peace in your heart and courage in your spirit. May every fear that you rises becomes an initiation into your true power. That's not our.
True power.
You are guided, you are protected, and you are free.
I
That's
like
what
it.
I
And
can
the only
do.
thing I can do is Lucky Charms are magically delicious. So, Dolores said, and the French fry cave, that's next door to the salt cave, which is next door to the shake
Mhm.
cave, which is next door to the hamburger joint. So
Yeah.
you can do a whole run there. I'm so glad you were here tonight as well. You're welcome,
Yes,
Chris.
thank you.
Again,
Thank you,
continue
everybody.
prayers. Schlan, Schlan,
Slanja.
All
Yeah.
right, everybody.
Oh, and here's my little cup.
Oh, that's cute. Take a
Take
deep
a deep
breath.
breath, stay fluffy, and keep going.
Love
My
it.
boss gave me that.
I like that. That's nice.
On my cup. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, everybody. We appreciate all of you. Remember, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And when we educate, we grow. There is unity in community. From our hearts to yours, real talk gets real answers. Be well, everybody. See you soon. Take care. Have a
Bye.
good night. Bye, everyone. Watch for the outro.